إلهنا ما أعدلك مليك كل من ملك لبيك قد لبيت لك لبيك إن الحمد لك إلهنا ما أعدلك مليك كل.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome everyone to our younger Hajjis how-to, where our Shaykh Yussuf Kromah will be detailing the instructions of Hajj and how to walk through the 5 days for those of our Hajjaj who are younger. A little bit about Shaykh. Shaykh Yussuf Kromah is a writer, an author, and a speaker. He obtained his BA from LaSalle University in Business Development and Leadership before pursuing another degree at Al-Azhar University in Islamic Law. He has appeared on platforms like HBO, CNN, Al Jazeera, and ABC. He's very active in the Muslim community. He serves as a khatib and resident scholar in Atlanta, Georgia. He leads the Do It for the Deen initiative, merging his artistic and scholarly pursuits in service of Islamic education and community engagement, and we're extremely honored to have him here speaking with us today.
Barakallahu feek, Sister Noor. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and increase you and reward you and accept all of your righteous activity. Allahumma ameen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala ashraf al-anbiya wal mursaleen. Muhammad Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. We begin forever and always by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending infinite salutations upon his prophet and messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We are thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the gift of Hajj, for the gift of the health that will allow us to go, and for the gift of the means that will allow us to go. Walillahi alhamd, we can't thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enough for the gift of inviting us to his house, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So thank you all for joining today's lecture on one of the most profound expressions of Islamic faith and unity, the Hajj pilgrimage. So inshallah ta'ala, we're going to delve into the historical, spiritual, and practical aspects of Hajj while exploring its origins, rituals involved, its significance, and the lives of Muslims around the world, and just some practical advice on how to do so, inshallah ta'ala. Before getting into the essentials of Hajj, we want to, of course, start with, and I'm going to follow your lead, Sister Noor, inshallah ta'ala, with the slides. But everything begins with the niyyah, as the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَلُ بِالنِّيَّةِ, that every action is by its intention. So the niyyah even begins before the Hajj itself, as you are preparing yourself mentally, physically, spiritually for Hajj, that you should also make the niyyah long before Hajj begins, that I'm going to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This the same way that a person begins Ramadan with the niyyah of Ramadan, Hajj is the same thing. And one of our righteous predecessors, he said, how many people make tawaf around the Kaaba? How many bodies make tawaf around the Kaaba without hearts? And how many hearts make tawaf around the Kaaba without bodies? Meaning that there are so many people that enter into the act of Hajj half-heartedly. Like they just get there and they're just trying to figure things out as they go along. They're not physically prepared for Hajj. They're not mentally prepared for Hajj. They're not emotionally, psychologically prepared for Hajj. They're just there half-heartedly. So their bodies are making tawaf, but their hearts are in a different place. Their bodies are making tawaf, but their minds are in different places. Their bodies are making tawaf, but their spirituality is not present in the haram, in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the first thing is to begin preparing long before you get to Hajj and make the sincere intention that Allah, thank you for allowing me to be here. Labbaik, I'm answering your call. Ya Rabbil Alameen, I heard the call and I'm answering the call. The second thing that a person should do, as we know, is ask forgiveness. Before you get to Hajj, going on Hajj, and not those half-hearted, Instagram and Facebook apologies. If I ever harmed anybody, please forgive me. No, you know who you have problems with. You know who you may have had a disagreement with, falling out with. So make the effort to reach out to this individual or group of individuals and say, hey, I'm going to Hajj. I sincerely ask you and beg you for your forgiveness. I don't want any confusion to be between us. I don't want any misunderstanding to be between us. I ask you to make Islah for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us that there will be two individuals who are on Hajj, and because of a conflict or disagreement or mishap that is happening between them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, set these two aside and let them finish out their differences, let them settle their quarrels, and for that reason they will miss out on the barakah, on the blessings of Hajj. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from that. So we ask for general forgiveness from our community, from our families, and we personally reach out to those who we have quarrels with, and we settle those matters before we go. The third thing that we should do prior to Hajj is paying off debts. If you owe someone money, you should pay off that debt. And the thing about it is many people confuse the idea of debt, paying off debts with, if I have any debts, I can't go to Hajj. That's not the reality. The fuqaha say, if you have debts that are not outstanding, for example, if I borrow from Sister Noor $100, and our agreement is I'm going to pay $10 every month until I pay off the debt. As long as my payments of $10 are fulfilled, we're in good standing. However, if I miss 3 or 4 months of the payments, I'm outstanding, I owe her $50 and I haven't paid it yet, and I say, you know what, I'm going to Hajj, that's not permissible. Rather, you should settle your debt or renegotiate the agreement to make sure that all your debts are settled. Nothing is outstanding before you leave for Hajj. That's very important. The fourth thing that many people don't think about before leaving for Hajj is that every Muslim should write a wasiyah, meaning that before you leave, you should write your last will and testament. Some people may say, I don't even have anything. Why should I do so? This is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, that you should have a wasiyah, you should write it, that your what you would like to have happen if and when you pass away. This is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, that the believer should always be prepared for anything to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How many hundreds of thousands of people go to Hajj and they don't return back? They meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is not to scare anyone, but this is just the reality of Hajj, that some people even go with the intention of never coming back. They go and they say, Allah, I don't want to go back home. I want to come and meet you. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us long lives and health and wealth and all of those things. But just in case we want to leave a wasiyah behind us. And fifth, there are two apps that I would like to recommend for Hajj. That's Hajj Salam app. It's like a step-by-step guide for Hajj. And then the other one is My Dua app, which is the book, A Fortress of a Muslim, is just in app form. It's very necessary that as you're making tawaf, as you're engaged in the different acts of ibadah, that you're constant in the dhikr, constant in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also that before you go to Hajj, is not one of those things that you want to figure out as you go along. Rather, you should prepare well. You should study and then study again and then study again and be very familiar with the acts of Hajj. So when you get there, it's almost automatic. And of course, we're there to guide you and to assist you and to serve you in the process. But it would make our jobs easier as guides, as servants, leaders, if you're able to have a general understanding of what's supposed to be done. Inshallah ta'ala. Now to begin with the 8th of the Hijjah, the first thing that we're going to do before getting into ihram. Oh, I didn't even get into that part. If we can go back, inshallah, Sister Noor. Barakallahu fikin. It is that you take a shower and getting to ihram. So you're going to take ghusl before getting to ihram. You're going to wash the body, and something about Hajj is that you aren't allowed to wear perfumes and deodorants and different things. So before putting on your ihram, you make sure you wash really well. And according to the opinion of Imam Malik, that you're allowed to put on itr and different things before you put on your ihram. You're allowed to cut your nails and everything before you put on ihram. But once you get into the state of ihram and you make Hajj, ihram literally means there are things that are forbidden. You're in a state of sanctity, and there are things that are forbidden. Once you put on this two-piece white garment known as ihram, there are things that are forbidden for you, such as putting on cologne, putting on different scented lotions, such as cutting the nails, and so forth. And then you begin with talbiyah. Labayk Allahumma labayk, labayk la sharika laka labayk, innal hamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika la. This is beautiful, mashallah ta'ala, tabarakallah. It is that you are answering the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We know that Hajj is one of the pillars of Islam. It is a duty upon every able-bodied Muslim. So it is as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting you to his home and you are saying, Ya Allah, here I am, labbaik. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Oh Allah, you called me. I am here answering your call. Labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. I answered your call and there are no partners or associates with you. I didn't answer the call of anyone but you. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. You only do we worship. You only do we seek for help. I didn't come to Hajj for any other intention other than you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I didn't come for business. I didn't come for any friendship. I didn't come for any relationship. I didn't come for fun. I didn't come to post pictures. I didn't come on a vacation. I came for you. I came to establish your worship. I came to answer your call. إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك له. So this is thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, showing gratitude that he even invited you to his home. As we know, not everyone is invited to someone's home. You know, especially as Muslims, we're very conscious and aware of the people that we allow into our places and spaces. So if you find yourself in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, know that it's only by intention. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how much status you have, how much knowledge you have. If you're not invited by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're not invited. And even in the invitation itself, there are other special types of invites. We have the grandson of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the great grandson. His name was Zainul Abidin, and he was performing Hajj with the Amir al-Mu'mineen at the time, with the leader of the believers. And if you ever been to Umrah or Hajj before, one of the things that people always want to do is kiss the black stone. It's like one of the highlights of the trip, but it's very chaotic, to say the least, trying to get towards the black stone and kiss the black stone. Hatta even say, no, Umar looked at the black stone, he pointed and said, I know that you're only a stone. And if it were not for the fact that the Prophet ﷺ kissed you, I wouldn't even bother kissing you. But the fact that the Nabi ﷺ did, we try to kiss the black stone if we're able, and if we're not, we just wave. Anyway, the Khalifa of the time and Zainul Abidin, they were there making Hajj, making Tawaf. And the Khalifa was trying his utmost best to get towards the black stone. Now, mind you, this is the chief of the believers. This is the leader of the entire ummah. He wasn't able to kiss the black stone. In spite of all his security guards and his status and everything, he just wasn't able to make it because of the traffic. And then here comes the grandson of the Prophet ﷺ, Zain al-Abidin, and then he walks right to the black stone and they part ways for him like a sea. And then the security guards of the Khalifa, they ask him, who is this man? He said, La na'rifuhu, we don't know who he is, you know? And then someone said, no, we know who he is. هذا الذي تعرفه البتهاء وتآته والبيت يعرفه والهل والحرم هذا تقي نقي. So the poet drafted a whole poem on the spot for Zain al-Abidin, and then they put him in jail because of that poem. Tabarakallah. But this is just to say that is only by invitation, and even within that invitation is a special invitation for those that are deeply connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are miracles, there are gifts, there's barakah that happens inside the journey of Hajj. Everyone is on their own unique journey. So you put on the shower, you place on the ihram, you make the intentions for Hajj, and you begin the talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, answering the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You perform Salat al-Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and Fajr in Minna. And then we move on to the next part of the journey, inshallah ta'ala. طيب, Arafah. After Fajr, Salat al-Fajr, you travel to Arafah. There's something that's very, very unique about Arafah. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Al-Hajj Arafah. There's a similar dua, a similar hadith to this, where the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Ad-Dua Ibadah. He said that dua is worship. It is almost to say that dua is the is the essence, is the quintessence of worship. That's what dua is. In the same way that dua is the heart of worship, Arafah is the heart of Hajj. He's as if to say that the entire Hajj is just comprised of this day of Arafah. And ulama say that Arafah is where Sayyidina Adam met Hawa, our mother. After they were cast out of Jannah, they met on Arafah for the very first time. So this is after Fajr. We would travel to Arafah, and then when Dhuhr comes in, we attend the Arafah khutbah. And then after that, we pray Salat al-Dhuhr and we pray Asr together and we make lots of dua. Arafah is the place to get your dua answer. You're going to pour out your heart to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything that's bothering you, everything, every need that you have, every want that you have. Sometimes I see people come to Hajj with, this long list of du'as, and you get there, you forget the whole paper. The best dua is the dua that comes from the heart when you're pouring out your heart to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And just a little hack, we'll talk about this later, but something that's tremendously beneficial is to know the etiquette of dua. Very briefly, a person shouldn't just go and stand on Arafah and say, Allah, I need this and this and this and this and this and this and this, like you're ordering something off Amazon. Rather, there's an etiquette to dua. You should begin with thana ala Allah, thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first for everything He has done for you. Thanking Allah Ta'ala for the invitation to be on Hajj. Thanking Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for the health that allowed you to come, for the means that allowed you to come, for the organizers of this, for the for the niyyah to come, for the ability to come, for Allah Ta'ala making all the travel easy, everything for you. You thank Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala greatly for all of those things. Secondly, you begin with salawat upon the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and then you call upon Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala by His beautiful names, and then you make dua. So these are all steps that should be taken before a person makes dua, and this makes it easy for a person to make dua. As Sayyidina Umar said, that every dua is suspended in thin air حتى يصلي على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, until a person sends salawat upon the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. That you should begin with this way, and then you make dua. Some people come with dua lists, some people come with notes on their phones, no problem with that. But the best dua is the one that comes directly from the heart. Also, making dua for other people is one of the fastest ways to get your dua accepted. Tayyib. Moving on from there, we go to Muzdalifah. After sunset, we will travel to Muzdalifah, pray Salat al-Maghrib and Isha together, spend the nights in Muzdalifah, pray Fajr, and head back to Mina. So mind you, something that you should do is pack light, because you're talking about sleeping outside in tents, sleeping on the mountain. So this time is very difficult. It's hard on the body, but it's worth it. So you're going to spend the night outside, sleep there. Everybody's there sleeping together, and you're just making dua, praying, and then we're going to go back from there and head to Mina, inshallah ta'ala. Now, okay, on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, which is a very special day, we go to stoning the Jamarat. Now, you've probably seen some very interesting videos with people stoning the Jamarat and just going crazy. That's not the intention is not to go there, have some rocks and slingshots and all kind of things, and you're stoning the shaitan for all the times he made you miss Fajr and all the hardship he caused in your life. No, you're just following the sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We're following the middle path. You stone it, but you're not going above and beyond. You're not winding all the way back and throwing it, hitting someone else, harming someone else. It defeats the entire purpose of ibadah. So you just want to go and stone the Jamarat, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused the shaitan to be present, and you're stoning it following the sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. After this comes the udhiyah, comes the sacrificing of the animal, if you're able to do so. And then from there, it is cutting of the hair. Now, once a person cuts the hair, it is the end of the ihram. It is the end of that cycle. It symbolizes the completion of that portion of the Hajj. You can take your ihram off once you cut your hair. You're free to put on different things, whatever fragrances, whatever the case may be. You're free to do so once you remove from the state of ihram, and then you will go to do tawaf, al-ifada, wa sa'i. So the tawaf, as you're gonna see, we're gonna start. And something that you should know is that when you're going and you see the Kaaba for the very first time, any dua that you make is mustajab, is accepted. That the first thing you say or think of or ask for whenever you see the Kaaba, this is dua that's mustajab. So you begin the tawaf. We're going to go around 7 times. And something that's very important and significant is to stay in a group, to stay with each other, to stay vigilant. There are going to be people that are pushing and shoving and scratching and all of those things, but you don't want to be from amongst the people that ruin their Hajj because they're pushing or harming the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In spite of what other people are doing, we're focused and we're going to remain mu'addab, have etiquette, and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we do 7 circumventing of the Kaaba, and then Sa'i and Sa'i. We're going to go to Safa and Marwa and go and do the intervals there as well, inshallah ta'ala. Next, Sister Noor. Right. And then on the 11th and the 12th of the Hijjah, we stone all 3 of the Jamarat. We're going to go back and do a stoning of the Jamarat. As we said before, that this is just following the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is not necessary to go overboard. You will see people misbehaving there, as in different parts of Hajj. But we want to remain in a state of etiquette, in a state of remembrance, in a state of respecting the haram, that we follow the sunnah, we follow the circuits, but we don't go above and beyond. So we're going to stone all 3 of the Jamarat and this portion on the 11th and 12th of the Hijjah, inshallah rahman.
Jazakallahu khaira. And if you had any specific advice for, the youngsters and those who this is perhaps their first time even going, to Makkah at all, any specific advice for how they should be conducting themselves, or something that you wish you had known the first time you went?
Yeah, definitely. There are many things. I know we're going to repeat this over and over again, but just the best time for a person to make Hajj is in their youth. Hajj is something that's very rigorous on the body, but as younger people, and I still like to include myself in the younger group, inshallah ta'ala, may Allah keep us young. That's the best time to go and make Hajj. To get barakah, you will see elders that are not necessarily able to make Hajj with ease, helping them, getting the rewards. Packing lightly, as I would like to say, always pack light for Hajj. You can just buy whatever you need once you get there, essentially from clothes, but just pack light, maybe a thobe or light garments. Going, really begin to immerse yourself in dhikr, remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you can memorize some adiyah, some dua, to go do the sunnahs. If you can, maybe we can, I'm not sure if Sister Noor, we have a manual of like a compilation of du'as that we can include and some of the sunnah for Hajj. It would be great if we could send out a manual. If not, I can help to create one that we can send to all the Hujjaj that they could review beforehand before getting there. And
Yes, inshallah, we're going to be sharing all of that with everyone, inshallah.
okay, perfect. So those are the things. Just purify your heart and get ready. It's the most beautiful experience a person can ever experience. I always tell people I left my heart in Mecca, Medina. So it's a great honor. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for bringing us. And just get ready. Get physically ready. If you hit the gym, get those push-ups in, get those biceps ready, triceps ready, get those legs ready. A lot of our brothers, they like to get the upper body, but the legs are like noodles, right? So there's a lot of walking, a lot of hiking, going up and down the hills, doing Safa and Marwa. It wears on the feet and wears on the body. So if you can get yourself physically, in all seriousness, get yourself physically ready. Water intake is very important as well. Drink a lot of water, hydrate properly. There's some medicine that people like to bring. Anticipate getting sick. That you should take a lot of vitamin C before Hajj. Eat some oranges, take some vitamin C. Try to get your immune system as high as possible, but go with the intention that I am possibly going to get sick. There's people coughing, sneezing, all kind of things happening all around you. So most likely people get sick during Hajj. It's just a part of the experience. You're going to get tired, feel dehydrated, but just try your best as possible to get as much sleep, as much hydration in, as much nutrition in your body before going there, and to get prepared, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah ta'ala. Jazakallah khair. Sheikh, I think this was extremely helpful and extremely beneficial. Once again, thank you to you and to everyone who joined us, inshallah.
Prepare for the transformative journey of a lifetime. Visit our website and follow us for more information.